All right, let's do example 2. If you need help, I got you right over here. So Ella, one of Miss Mustafa's best friend's favorite flowers is roses. She grows some in her backyard and then sells it to the people at her work. So here's where we need this important information. For every 50 seeds she plants in her backyard, only 10 will blossom roses. If Ella plants 25 seeds, how many roses will actually blossom? So let's go back to the CFS. First thing is simplify the ratio given into its simplest form by finding the unit rate. So we find the unit rate first, which means for part 1, we know that 50 seeds, 10 roses will blossom. The unit rate is always per 1 unit, right? So we want to know, okay, how many seeds need to be planted for 1 rose to blossom? I'm going to put a rose here. Okay, so remember, we always want to figure out how to get from one side to the other side. So how do I get from 10 to 1? Because these are the 2 numbers I have. So I'm going to divide by 10, because anything divided by itself is 1. So we're going to divide here, and we get 5. For every 5 seeds, 1 rose will blossom. But we're not done, right? Because the question's not asking me how much for per 1. The question is asking, if Ella plants 25 seeds, how many roses will actually blossom? So now what we have to do is, in step 2 of my CFS, right? We have step 2. We're going to use the unit rate to find the missing value. So that's what I'm going to do. My unit rate is 5 seeds to 1 rose or blossom rose. And what we're going to do is use what we know to find the missing values. So step 3 in the CFS is to always make sure that your units are aligned. So seeds blossomed. Okay, so it's asking us if she plants 25 seeds, how many roses will blossom? So again, a proportion is how to get from one side to the other side. How to get from 5 to 25? Well, we multiply by 5, which means we multiply by 5 at the bottom. So 1 times 5 is 5. 25 seeds for 5. If I plant 25 seeds, 5 roses will blossom. And again, when you type in your answer, we only put the number. So just put 5. That's all I need you to do, is to put 5. Okay, so here's part 2. If Ella plants 15 seeds, how many roses will not blossom? Remember, we always use the unit rate to find the missing value. So part B, my unit rate, we have is 5 seeds per 1 blossom of a rose. Okay, and the unit rate or the ratio here is telling us how many roses will blossom, right? The final question says how many will not blossom. So we're going to figure out how many roses will blossom to know how many will not. So if Ella plants 15 seeds, here I have 15. We want to know how many will blossom, right? Because that's what the ratio gives us. It doesn't give us how many will not. It gives us how many will. Okay, so I know how to get from one side to the other. Here, multiplying by 3. Here, which means I'm multiplying by 3 here. So, for 15 seeds, 3 roses will blossom. Again, don't be tricked, right? Because what that's saying is how many will. We need to figure out how many will not. So if there's a total of 15 seeds, 3 roses will blossom. We want to figure out how many will not. Again, we want to know how much is left over. So we subtract, and 15 minus 3 is 12. So 12 will not blossom. And there you go. So you could use this video to help you. The next part, example 3, is you're actually going to try this on your own. Again, only put the numbers, but again, like, we are mostly going to find the unit rate, and once we have the unit rate, we could use the unit rate to find any missing value using the proportions that we set up. Okay, good luck.